Hi everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield. I'm a professional dancer, professional dance choreographer, and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States. And today we're going to be taking a look at these dance rank missions from season 2 of Street Woman Fighter. Now, this is the first, these sets of videos that I have released today are just the first kind of visual of how this challenge actually works. It was brought to my attention during the rookie group that they do a video, Choom does, of everybody auditioning with the main dancer group, and then they have a separate video of who like the finalists are. So I'm very interested in seeing, and I want to try to combine those for this video for your convenience too. So this one that we're reacting to is going to be the leader one. So I'm intrigued of how this is going to go. I do not know whose choreography was chosen, nor do I know who the main dancer was that was picked. So I am going to not be guessing whose choreography, but I will be guessing who I think they would choose. I also will note this too, that I do feel that this could be the potential most subjective section of the entire competition, because it goes back to when you think about the music and the musicality and think about the genre of music that they are doing the choreography to, not only are they going to be looking at the choreography, they'll be looking at whose texture preference of movement quality and grooves are going to be the best for main dancer. And I know for me, I struggled more in figuring out who they would look for out of the rookie group, more so than the sub leader group, because of my experience with R&B versus that K-pop girl group fierce aesthetic. So I have no idea what song they picked for this one, but I am excited to find out. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, leader. So you got a lot of heavy hitters in this one. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, I'm assuming this is gonna have a really big attack necessary to do it, but whenever you're really chill, you gotta be on it. Woo! The wordplay, light it up. I love that. That was cool. Fun. Ooh. What? Whoa. Kirsten look at how she's traveling that. Disgusting. Oh my god. Yeah, just look, like they're way more muted in their movement, which is not the kind of choreo that this is. You gotta be so extroverted, but you gotta be refined. Whoa! I would say a lot of them are still... Wow, her traveling was crazy on that. Okay, let's take a look here. Initial thought, so I have a feeling it's going to be Bada Lee from her first group, and it'll be Kirsten from the second group if they pick two. Those are the two that stuck out to me, but I'm going to go through each one for different reasons. I will say Kirsten stuck out the most out of her group. Compared to the two, I think Bada Lee had more competition in the aesthetic. So we're going to take a quick look at this. And then I will say too, I did look at the thumbnail of the full cam, and I did see Bada and I did see Kirsten. But whenever I watched this, I feel like I would have made the same choice, and I'm going to about to explain to you why. So... I mean, I will say I really love all the crews supporting each other. It's really fun. I like the fact that all the members have an equal chance, you know. So just take a look here of just the presence. All of this looks great. I love this beginning here too. Yeah. I would say the first group also gets an advantage when it comes to like how the choreography looks too. So I would assume like you have to really stand out. I mean, the choreo is going to look nice anyway, but you also have to look at it's really important that you stick out if you're in my second group, because you no longer have that surprise of choreographic intention compared to the first group. Yeah, so look at how Bada, like, she has a lot of really big reverbs that help here, but I actually, let me listen to the music real quick before I make, whoops. Let me just take a look at this here. Yeah. So notice that, like, everybody's doing a good job for that part right there. But like, nah. So I would say Bada maybe a little bit too extroverted there for compared to the sound. But also know how clear that is. That is really clear. And you hear that, like, you gotta hear that and you gotta show it. Yep, I will say Bada let her head go. I think she dropped it when I really feel like you should maintain more contact. But also, I've also mentioned that whenever you do drop your head, it can come across as a little bit more, you're more fluent and familiar with the style, so you're able to make more choices and not have to look front. It's different than R&B where the sensual posture is important. Yeah, so notice how like she's kind of marking some stuff. She is going for every freaking move, and you have to with a song like this. Yeah, it just looks like she's just only digging when she wants to, and you don't have that liberty with this song. This song doesn't drop out like that, and so you have to approach it with this type of attack. You have to be extroverted even in the legato, like smooth movements. It still have to be big, you know? There's certain choreography, and that's honestly, okay, so dancers, like for this works if you're extroverted in all your movement, and the choreography is what allows you the moments to be subtle. Does that make sense? So with this, all of this choreo, all you're doing is dynamic shifting, but the energy still needs to be here. And then there's a certain point where it's more isolated, so naturally it's going to look more subtle, but you still need to be very clear in your isolations in order to interpret the part of the music that you want to get. So that's just my little note there. You know, it's very clear. Like, look, even there, like some of them are not like making more chill, which can work here, you know, which is fun. I like that. But also I think right here, she even had that like, whoa, she was word playing a little bit on what's happening. Even there, you know, I think she's marking it a little too much for the aggression of the song, which is why I feel like she was not picked. And I feel like she's just doing choreography as well. So it doesn't, she has this like minute, like, you know, this kind of position, but it needs to have that like, you know, for me it feels, I know the song's probably not Zico, but it's, you know, Zico has that like playful rap to him, and or that slang rap that he does, and I feel like this song caters to that. I don't know who the artist is, so I apologize, but this artist reminds me of Zico and how he plays on his rhythms with his tone, and so you need to emulate that as a dancer. If you're going for a main dancer, you sure got to do that, you know. So it feels like she's really embodying the bass too. Yeah. And everything, like with the throw, is 100%. It's not like halfway. It's got to be 100%. And she hit that because that's the timbre you're hitting. And even there, look how clear her finger wave is. You know, if you're going to do that and make it look like a flame, it can't be broken up, and it needs to be a little bit more legato. But like, look. So like she had it up, and then they held it, and then they did it when it needed to just be like one of these. Like, that's really cute. That was fun. Okay. So Bada, there was people who made similar choices as her, but she's the only one that was as extroverted and matched the song's aesthetic as appropriately. Now, in this group, I really feel like there is no debate about it. Kirsten really held it. I feel like she was late, and everybody's just kind of doing the move. But you notice just like how she's like moving through, light it up. Like she is setting it up. Look at her posture, so much more extroverted. Theirs is more internal, more pedestrian. Look at that. She's like, light it up. I think Bada knows too. Like that's her competition. Yeah, so even there, they're traveling it up. She's traveling it out. So that's an interesting choice. Leah, she didn't actually establish that tail end of that choreo. I will say she's doing a little too much in the hips. Like there's not a sound for the extra reverberation that she's using in her back and her hips and her legs. So I feel like it's important to, like, you have the reverb and then you want to make it very clear. So I would say she's maybe doing a tad bit too much in the body to set that up, but it makes sense for the choices that she's making leading up to that. I just wish that she just toned it just a little bit there so she can pop off later, which she does. Like, look at this. She is really traveling through the movements, which is important here. And everybody else is kind of matching, which is what you don't want to be whenever you're a dancer. You don't want to match everybody else unless everybody else are main dancers. Do you know what I'm saying? Which you can only really have one. I'm just saying, like, it's appropriate to blend in when you are trying to emulate or be like, do backup or be on tour. And you want to look like those, like, you need to look the part, right? Here, you want to stand out, but you don't want to stand out in a bad way either. And you also don't want to blend in, which I feel like they are all blending in. And then you have Kirsten sticking out. You know what I mean? They look like they're doing the choreo. She made a lower choice, which was good. But she looks like she's marking a little bit more, you know, and needs to go boom down. Like there needs to be more into every move. Yeah. Yeah, some of them are making, like, you know, an internal hits when this is not what the kind of texture needs to be. Yeah, look. Her travels. And I always like to say this too. When you stick your tongue out, you're vibing, you're having a good time. Look at this. Ooh. I will say one of Kirsten things she needs to be very careful of is sometimes she over pushes, and I think that's what happened. There was one of the dancers that went way too big in the rookie group. She would have done really well with this choreo if she kept it like that, because it would have worked. It didn't work for that song though. And then for this works. So like Kirsten, I would actually say if Kirsten was doing rookie group's choreo, I think she would struggle more than if she was doing this choreo. So I want to kind of make that known too. Song choice matters here as well. Yeah, so this really helps here. Wave through, boom. I love that with the hip isos, which is really nice. Yeah, and it looks like they're just kind of marking it and they're overlocking the torso, which you really need to have a sense of looseness to go further. Here's the deal though. It is freaking hard to be so extroverted in movement the whole time. It is hard to do that. It's also hard to be captivating in that too, which is why a lot of times choreographically you need to have breaks in it, which there are breaks in here, but they're very minimal. But also the song doesn't cater to that either. And because it's really short choreography, it's okay that it can be kind of compact like this as well. I do like the choreo here. Yep. I will say she took a more like slow motion, which I kind of like, but she took just a very like textbook way to interpret that. And I like her level changes there. I love this because she looks the most like herself. It looks like she's just trying to do choreography, but like taking like that really cool swag, but there's no like change in character in between the two that I saw with, I don't know what crew she's with. Yeah, just look, it's just so big and you can see everything. Yeah, presence matters too with this kind of song. I will say she holds it and then she does it as well. She holds it, yeah. So I would say that's a pretty good run out of her as well. I would say the two that I would pick if they only pick two would be Bad Ali and be Kirsten, you know, because of what I stated, and they hit it. Now, if I were to pick just one, that's tough. How about let's just watch the next video, and then I think I can make a better choice, because I'll actually see them both do all the choreo. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay. Now, they changed some of the choreo. I think it was creative freedom. I don't know if it's because they forgot. Let's look at it. This is a toss-up, which is good. I like that. I like toss-ups. Because that means what I watched was good. Okay, from this top end, I would say I would vote Kirsten in this because her movements are still very clear. I don't know if it's because Bada's hair you know, she's really letting her hair go, but also no, it feels like she's throwing into her movements more than actually like bodying the verbiage and bodying the choreo and like choosing to throw it. It looks like her only volume is to throw it until this moment here. And I like the fact that Kirsten made a different choice than, you know, she chose to hit a different pocket, which I like. I like that. This little bit. So Kirsten technically did the choreography. She made her own choice and finished the way she wanted to finish. Now remember, I don't know who choreographed it. It could very well have been Bada Lee. This kind of has a Bada Lee vibe to it. Okay. If I were to make my vote, I think either could totally take it, because if you're looking at different things, you could, you know, it'll be one or the other. I would say if you're looking for if you're looking for it to be cleaner, like more on the cleaner side, but still have extroversion, then I would pick Kirsten. But if you're looking for that overall like power and aesthetic and that kind of, you know, that jerking like extroversion, which there is a place for that and it very well works here, you could give it to Bada. So I think it's like both of them are a legit toss-up, and I'm so glad I was able to see the whole choreo. There's a good chance that I just didn't even see that part. That I was like, oh, that looks different. Probably because I didn't really even see it, because Mnet is awesome and likes to cut a lot of parts out of actual dancing. So that's going to be my vote. Honestly, it's a legit toss-up. If I were to pick between one or the other, the first run-through, I would have picked Bada. For this run-through, I would have picked Kirsten. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Let me know in the discussion who actually took it and who choreographed it too, because I love the match. I think this was probably one of my favorite wordplays that I've seen in choreography so far. So please let me know. This is freaking awesome. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful in some way, and I'm so sorry if like I got names wrong, or if what I'm saying just kind of like doesn't make as much sense. I'm sorry. This is one of the first times, and I mentioned this before, one of the first times where I'm actually able to look at two different dancers or look at multiple dancers and be able to kind of do a compare and contrast between what subjective performance qualities could have one do better than the other. But I think the really important thing for us to note here is that every single dancer was impressive in their own right. There was nothing wrong with how they danced. It's what are you looking for? If you're looking for a main dancer, you're looking for one thing. If you're looking for somebody that can blend in and do the choreography well and accurate, but also can replicate it into other dancers, that's a completely different skill set you're looking for. So all in all, I really enjoyed these. I think I liked all three choreographies a lot. And I feel like honestly, out of all of the groups that I have seen so far, I feel like the only one that I felt was the easiest for me to really see who could be that main dancer was the sub-leader group with Latrice, with that R&B aesthetic, because it is a really interesting and difficult pocket to do well. But these other ones, I kind of feel like it just kind of depends on what you care about more in an extroverted pocket is really my thing. Or like when you're looking at the bones of a groove in context to the music, what musicality are you wanting to make sure is extroverted or introverted, or matches aesthetically well, or that needs to stand out? Those are like really subjective things, and it just depends on the scope of the judge and the scope of those who get a say. So yeah, I really enjoy these, and I'm excited to tackle the Street Woman Fighter Season 1 equivalents of this, because I know that happens there. And I know, what is it? They have that Hey Ma, right? Like the Hey Mama. I know that's like a really popular one that came up from the show, so I'm actually excited to take a look at that one too. So, but yeah, I will check you guys later. Bye.